SpaceWatchers. This is Space Café Radio on tour in Berlin. Your channel about trends, great people and awesome conferences. I'm Thorsten, publisher of SpaceWatch.Global. Mid of May, the ESA Investment Forum 2022 took place in Berlin, exactly at the Sprechspeicher Berlin, with its iconic view to the Oberbaumbrücke that bridges east and west decades ago. During the event, I interviewed Lynn Zoenen of Alpine Space Ventures about her view on the market. Enjoy our conversation. Who are you and what are you doing?
Hi, thanks a lot for having me. My name is Lynn. I'm an investor with Alpine Space Ventures. I'm the principal of the team. So basically what we do as Alpine Space Ventures is we have a strong focus on new space companies, so anything around connectivity and data. So we would look at any types of technologies along the value chain of small satellites. Currently, we're very focused on hardware investments, but we also look into anything around software, data analytics, insights, and the most interesting category for me being applications. I think that the main difference from other funds is perhaps that we have a very strong focus on technical capabilities. It's basically the venture fund of Bülent Altan, who was one of the first engineers within SpaceX. He at some point led one of the 3 technical departments of SpaceX. And then we also brought in his former right-hand, Katrina Chambers, who was the director of avionics for Starship. She was with SpaceX for 16 years. And then our advisor is Hans Königsmann, former chief engineer at SpaceX. We have perhaps a bit of a more critical eye when it comes to technology. This is mainly what we do. We invest 1 to 5 million tickets into space startups, ideally at a Series A stage. But then in our portfolio companies, we have earlier companies as well. So it very much depends on what the team looks like, the technology, and how we feel about the overall potential of the company.
If you analyze the space investment market in Germany, how does it look like?
I would say it's very, very dynamic. Of course, we see lots of very talented teams. Obviously, given that our fund is based in Munich and most of our team is located there, we get strong deal flow from the Technical University of Munich and like everything that has been built around the university. There's, I would say, an emerging ecosystem in Munich, but also in other cities in Germany. I think one strength that we see in the German ecosystem is also, let's say, you have many leaders in different industries in Germany, terrestrial industries, be it automotive, electronics. And so I think there's a lot of knowledge and know-how in those industries that our companies can benefit from, and our companies will then bring back innovation into those companies. So I think it's going to be a very exciting exchange of knowledge and ways of doing things in different ways.
Is the German market hungry for investments, or is it a flat market and it's not so attractive, but you're being here because Munich is a cool place?
Munich certainly is a cool place. But no, we see Germany as a very interesting market because we see more and more emerging technologies that are really interesting and key for the whole industry to become commercial. Obviously, the market has been quite heated over the past couple of years. Now you can see that it is cooling down a little bit. But there is need for investments. I think one thing that we learned at this conference yesterday is that there is abundant capital for early stages. But then whenever it comes to growth capital, we need to keep up pace with other countries. This is something that we want to add to and contribute to. So I said initially we invest 1 to 5 million, but we will only focus on 10 to 12 companies. So meaning that we are able to go up to 30 million into a single company. I'm not saying that this will finance them for the rest of their life cycle, but it does help. This is something that I think we're in Europe, there is room for improvement where we'll have to deploy more capital for new space startups.
Is the German politics helpful for the investment? Is it supportive, or is there room for improvement as well?
Well, there is always room for improvement. But I do see that in Germany and more broadly in all across Europe, there is increasing support for space. You can see it with the 1 billion Cassini fund. You can see that it's a sector that more and more industries are interested in. And then consequently, it's also more interesting to governments because you cover a broader spectrum. Space is not just catering space anymore. And so I think this is also one of the reasons why governments have become much more interested in space. They see the benefits in terms of environmental monitoring, in terms of helping agriculture become more, bridge the digital gap. So I think that overall there will be more support for space. It is a topic where we have seen in the Ukraine crisis, for instance, how important it is to have a resilient telecommunications infrastructure that it is, and that space helps in that regard, because we see that terrestrial infrastructures in this kind of situations can become a military target, and that you need a backup solution for that. And not just on the military side, but I mean, in every area that you can think of, space is becoming a key source.
If we broaden our scope to Europe, how does space investment in Germany looks like compared to the rest of Europe?
I think there's a vibrant German investors network, let's call it like that. Obviously, I believe that it is important to have a large investor network because at some point we will need co-investors for our companies. So we actively talk to all the venture funds. There are more and more generalistic tech funds that find an interest in space. I do see that there is a lot of, let's call it, interest from industrial VCs in the topic. I would say, yeah, on the private side, definitely there are capacities to deploy. When you compare it to other ecosystems, Europe as a whole is a rather small ecosystem, so everyone kind of knows everyone. And the fact that we are based in Germany, I myself am based in Luxembourg, have built an ecosystem as well in France, or a network in France where we get deal flow from. That gives us the advantage that we really cover companies across on a European level, really, which makes it easier to compare the different ecosystems.
We are here at the second day of the ESA Investment Forum. So what did you learn and what are your takeaways from the first day?
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of talks yesterday were around exit routes for space startups. And I think there is more to do, certainly, and room for improvement in terms of keeping those companies in Europe. And so I think that really the main point here is that we make sure that we build up the funding capabilities for later stages. We need to talk to private equity to basically raise awareness that space has become an investable topic. So I think that there is still some market education to be done for the later stages for our companies.
So today will be a very intense and interesting day. So we will see many, many pitches here in Berlin. How does the ideal target for you as a space investor look like?
Mm-hmm. So I would say that technology-wise, we look at anything that makes life on Earth easier. So a kind of facilitator. So what we do is connectivity and data. I think that when you look at all our portfolio companies and when you talk to the founders, what they have in common is they have a very strong founder with a clear vision for his or her company, the ability to execute, but still be very open-minded and open for change. I think that's something that we really look for in founders, be transparent. We, on the technology side of things, we look at is the technology, does it make sense? Is it feasible to implement it within a short window of time? Because obviously we look for companies that have a clear path to revenue. Then we look at, do they understand their market environment? And do they understand both? Do they have a deep understanding of both their technology and also who are my customers? What are my customers' constraints and needs? And where do I add value? I think that these are things that are extremely important. And then we look at whether they are transparent about their competition, because this is something that we realize many companies try to hide, and then they would only list the industry incumbents, which obviously are not direct competitors. We look for transparency and honesty in the people we work with, because we do invest into technologies, but we will be working with the teams. This is very important to us.
A lot of advices for startups in your last statement. Thank you very much, Lynn, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. If you want to stay on the pulse of space, visit our website, our mothership, at SpaceWatch.Global, and subscribe to our newsletters. But of course, don't forget to become a Space Watcher. I'm Thorsten Kriening, CEO and publisher of SpaceWatch.Global, your independent perspective of space.